Kafka came out of syllabus for most anime fans, and literally put a whole-ass spotlight on the world of anime kaijus. But cleaning kaiju battle remains isn't everything he's all about. From a helpless child with big dreams to an absolute monster capable of destroying the entire world, we're going to discuss all of Kafka's forms in Kaiju number 8. And trust me, this man is the ultimate underdog story, mixed with existential body horror. So let's break down every single transformation. Let's start where every tragic backstory begins. Kafka was born into a world where monsters spawned every weekend like a twisted game. Despite living in literal hell, this kid grew up confident and carefree, never scared of taking risks. He was physically strong enough to handle bullies and became the protector of his neighborhood, especially for Mina Ashido, whose mom was friends with his. Kafka rocked a baggy shirt, shorts, sandals, and a water gun strapped to his back, living his best life until a kaiju attacked their hometown and killed everyone they cared about. Watching their town burn from a hill, Kafka and Mina promised to join the defense force and become top officers. This moment shaped everything. Kafka would become the trauma, the determination, and the guilt of surviving when others didn't. Fast forward years later, and Kafka kept applying for the defense force, but failed every single time. Meanwhile, Mina got accepted on her first try, which destroyed his confidence. Kafka outgrew the maximum recruitment age and lost his will to fight, but still wanted to help. So he became a kaiju corpse cleaner for Monster Sweeper Inc. Day in and day out, he crawled into dead kaiju stomachs, carving through muscle and bone. He knew monster anatomy better than almost anyone. It wasn't the job he wanted, but it gave him skills most soldiers lacked. Despite everything, he maintained a sleeper build, training just in case. During this time, Kafka trained a new recruit named Leno Ichikawa. On their first job together, Kafka saved Leno's life from a yoju and held it off until Leno came back. Then they were both about to get eaten before Mina showed up and blasted the monster away. Leno looked up to Kafka after that, and their dynamic shifted from mentor-student to brothers in arms. This is where everything changes. That same night at the hospital, a small flying kaiju forced its way into Kafka's mouth and turned him into a humanoid kaiju. Yeah, Kafka became the very thing he spent his life fighting. Talk about irony. Despite having a comedic personality, Kafka's kaiju form had a demonic appearance, with an insect-like skull for a face, bones exposed all over his dark body, and completely black eyes with green pupils. This form gave him superhuman strength and heightened senses. He accidentally destroyed a wall just by leaning against it. The first thing Kafka did was rescue a little girl from a yoju. His monster form easily pulverized the beast and triggered his ability to return to human form, proving he still had control despite his powers. Kafka still couldn't bring out combat abilities in human form, but he applied to the defense force anyway and passed physical tests by using his brain with years of experience disposing of kaiju corpses. Kafka guided troops and helped secure kills. Everything seemed great, until another humanoid kaiju attacked Kikoru, a girl who saved Kafka earlier. This forced Kafka to transform. He immediately launched at the kaiju and blew a hole straight through its body with a devastating punch. The monster defeated, Kafka begged Kikoru to keep his identity secret, and she agreed. 2 months later, Kafka earned the right to train with Vice Captain Soshiro Hoshina, who didn't go easy on him. Not even once was every session brutal. Kafka got tossed across the training room, buried under simulated attacks, and pushed to the edge. But this was necessary. He wasn't learning to fight better, he was learning to control himself. Every punch was about precision, every dodge about timing. Hoshina was shaping Kafka into a calculated warrior, not a mindless weapon. Later, when kaiju invaded Tachikawa Base, Kafka held off on transforming as long as possible to protect his identity. But when the situation got desperate, he had no choice and took out a giant yoju bomb by himself to save everyone. He was immediately arrested and taken to Defense Force headquarters. The mental pressure was insane, holding back his transformation while dozens of lives hung in the balance. Kafka knew revealing his secret could mean execution, but letting people die wasn't an option. Given one chance to prove himself, Kafka had to face Director General Isao Shinomiya. Before the fight, Kafka had blood stolen and basically lost the second he tried to strike back. This put Kafka in hysteria, where he lost complete control of his body. Kafka's soul was forced to watch himself attack and keep up with Isao, who wielded Kaiju No. 2's gauntlets as Kaiju No. 8 took hold completely. Kafka tried to resist the urge to kill Isao, determined to take his body back. Kafka punched himself in the heart and collapsed. In this form, Kafka's attacks were completely primal, and his speed was beyond impressive. What made this version terrifying wasn't just his strength, but also his unpredictability. His movements had no pattern, controlled by instinct and rage alone. The scariest part was that he almost didn't want to stop following this Kafka, who had spent 5 days knocked out before being paired with 1st Division Captain Gen Narumi. On their first mission, Kafka found out he was completely unable to transform. Fear of losing control and harming friends held him back. He came face to face with Kaiju No. 9, who eventually absorbed Isao Shinomiya. Kafka held his own fairly well thanks to Kikoru, but No. 9 escaped. Worse news came when Kafka learned he might not be able to transform back into a human if he kept using his abilities. Despite the risks, he kept fighting. Kafka had a friendly bout with Soshiro at Ryugen Shrine, but lost because he was too reliant on Kaiju No. 8's abilities and needed better footwork. That loss was a turning point. He stopped relying on brute force and trained like regular people. After 3 months, Kafka performed better as a human and learned squadron-style combat and Hoshina family hand-to-hand techniques, giving him Force Blast, Twin Blast, and Rising Blast. When No. 9 took Mina hostage, Kafka dove in and ripped her from his clutches. They clashed fists, creating huge shockwaves, somehow on par with the overpowered No. 9. Kafka prepared Twin Blast, but fired an alternate version that sent No. 9 flying with his chest blown off and core exposed, but the monster had shielded its core. No. 9 shot a beam and then appeared behind Kafka looking stronger. He evolved into a 2-headed monster using Isao's absorbed weapons. Facing the combined Kaiju No. 9 and 2, Kafka lost his leg, but created Lotus Blast in response to the monster's evolution. Eventually, No. 9 got bored and used God of Thunder, completely exposing Kafka's core. It was almost ripped out, but Mina intervened. A quick chat helped Kafka regain confidence, but they weren't strong enough. That's when Kafka played his trump card and let Kaiju No. 8 take full control. With his body undergoing mental strain, the monster howled in pain, showing a new berserker look with newfound strength. Kafka regained control of his berserk state and subdued No. 9 with help from Isao's lingering consciousness. Kafka delivered an alternate God of Thunder to shatter the enemy's core. But during that exchange, Kafka got pulled into No. 9's psyche, viewing when kaiju business began. No. 9 transformed into his true form, meant for pure destruction, while Kafka's core was completely destroyed. With consciousness mostly gone, Kafka's inner kaiju willed his body to punch No. 9's corpse, but was sent flying with arms severed, with Kafka presumed dead. Soshiro, Mina, and Narumi stood against the menace, while Kafka drifted deeper into his subconscious, until he met a samurai from the past, becoming part of their battalion, fighting the first kaiju ever recorded. Kafka learned Kaiju No. 8's true origins. Determined to return, Kafka converted his human heart into a kaiju core by choice. His lifeless body sprang into action and saved Captain Narumi before the killing blow. This energized Kafka stood tall and tanked a fatal injury, exposing his core without worry. His charcoal skin crumbled into dust, leaving a white armored body that looked far scarier. His bones more pronounced, jaw larger, and skull transformed into 2 scaly horns with eyes on them. This white-armored Kafka radiated final boss energy. With Kaiju No. 8's true form unlocked, Kafka was officially the strongest being in the story. He took a direct hit to his face like nothing, then punched number 9 back several meters. The fight became one-sided in Kafka's favor, with no way to win. Number 9 launched a beam, but Kafka appeared behind it and stopped it with blinding speed. He pummeled number 9 until the Meireki Mega Monster ejected itself. Despite dodging attacks that could tear down skyscrapers, Kafka lost his head to the Mega Monster's attacks.
Even with attacks getting parried, Kafka got help from Hikoru using Kaiju No. 1's clairvoyance. Together, they kept the Mega Monster busy until Mina charged her weapon and took a devastating sniper shot, exposing the core ready to attack. Kafka prepared an all-out punch that completely annihilated it. This final form was far beyond anything seen before. No kaiju or human could match the raw power, making this Kafka's ultimate final form. From childhood dreamer, to corpse cleaner, to accidental monster, to controlled weapon, to berserk nightmare, to strategic fighter, to all-out kaiju, to finally, the white armored god. Kafka Hibino's journey is pure evolution. His 8 forms represent physical transformations and growth as a person. His struggle with identity, fear of losing control, and ultimate acceptance of what he became. The man who spent years cleaning monster guts became the strongest monster of all. And that's the most beautiful character arc you could ask for. Now smash that like button so we can dive into more Kaiju No. 8 content. See ya!